Hello, this is an exciting league game that black won by half a point, the smallest margin in a Go game. So this was quite exciting. Let's check it out. The Fuseki in this game looked really professional. So most of the moves are played in a very modern way, AI style. So in this position, it's nothing wrong to play p4, but black can already consider other options. For example, the kick at r4 and then extend for a base, in which case white either extends low or high. It's actually the trend these days. Another option for white is to go all the way to the corner. Another option locally, instead of p4, is to go o4. So it's the same reason like p4, prevent being pressed down, but this way black tries to develop further on the bottom side. So when white extends for a base here, black will go to the middle of the side at k3. Now when you have the stone at p4, the extension is usually just l3. So playing o4, you can go one line further. That's another option to think about. Of course, black has the pincer here or the loose one. So all these moves are available for black. But I guess black wants to keep things simple, so just Kosumi like white did in the top left corner. Now here, of course, it's common for white to make a base, to space jump, but white can also play more active r14, sun invasion. Well, that will happen soon too. So black approaches the bottom, that's fine. Now we have another modern Joseki here. So far this game looks like a 9-down professional Fuseki. Both white and black are playing the right moves. Here white usually just goes down and then black extends h3 or pushes f4. But the reason for white to push here is not to defend at b3 too soon and then maybe just extend c10. So speed up a little bit. Also when white plays f4, he's trying to make sure black doesn't expand the bottom too much. So that's playable. But now white goes for the top sun invasion, which is good. So here black can block either side and it's fine. The actual game, black blocked at q17. But if black blocks r16, it's absolutely okay, because white will go in the top. Now, of course, black can go for double hane, like it happened in the game, but it's also good enough to play just nobi, in which case, usually white will just game out to fix the corner, and now black can extend all the way to r10. So this extension, it's a dual purpose move. It helps the wall, trying to set up a moyo, but in the same time, puts pressure on the two white stones. So most of the time, white will just extend on the bottom to fix a base and prevent the kick at r4. And then this induces the extension around, let's say, l4, m4, something on the bottom to complete the moyo here. So playing the block on the right actually induces the development on the bottom side. It's a good way or concept to consider in the future, not just to think about the local variation. But it's nothing wrong to play q17 and then go for the double hane, that's fine too. So usually once you play a hane at r15, you want to continue with the double hane. It would be the same here, hane, then double hane, and now we have the development like this. But if something like this happens, white is probably not going to allow the approach at r10 and go down here, then approach r14. Of course, black can kick and then extend r11. So this way white makes sure the right side is controlled by him. So back to the original game. Block the top, then double hane. Obviously white takes the ponuki towards the right side, black goes for the top, and now white extends j17. It's quite large. So here there are several interesting moves that white can consider. One is to go down b3, in which case black will either turn or play an extension at j3. Then white can extend towards the left side to put some pressure on the two stones. Now when black slides, this induces the extension in the top at j17. So this is a way for white to look at the position. But it's quite large to play j17, especially that black has this powerful wall and black also wants to extend to the middle of the side in the top. So far so good. So the Fuseki is still 50-50, very balanced. Now black can turn here. That's pretty big. Black can also extend on the bottom. Oh, actually black can put pressure q6. Yeah, this is the actual move. It's very good. and then turn. Now, well, the turn is also a powerful move, but it kind of leaves an invasion around K or L4. So what black can do, it's an attach at Q8. This is a way to keep white low on the right side, and also it prevents the vital point of Q7. So for example, if black just plays K4 and white comes at Q7, this is a powerful formation and it's quite difficult to invade the right side after that. But if you play an attach move at Q8, now you gotta see whether white will no-b or wedge or play one hane this way or push the other way. These are the options that white can consider on the attach. Now, if white simply plays Q7, you go Atari connect and then no-b. So now this keeps white very low on the right side. If white jumps here, you push again in Sente and then you just extend K4. So you create a wall like this and you get the middle side extension. This is probably the best way to develop this moy on the bottom side. But white can play with more fighting spirit. So for example, if white pushes here and you block, you will Atari, then when you connect, you will push through, hane, he will counter hane, Atari connect, extend, go up, and then extend the moy on the bottom side. So this way, you sacrifice the 2 stones and make the box here, but white also builds a lot on the right side. So maybe it's more interesting on this kind of move to play with fighting spirit as black now at R9. So when white comes in between, black can go Atari, connect. So this gives white a pretty, let's say, overcrowded formation. And then you hit the vital point R12. So you ruin the right side, you let white come in the middle a little bit, but now white has to worry about the Ponuki. So white needs to play here, then block, then stay alive, but it's quite painful. So if white comes in here, the turn is Sente, then black can just double up the corner like this or like this to make a base. So black ruins this side and white comes into the bottom. That's also an option. Anyway, interesting for black to consider Q8 and all the possible follow-ups here. Because if black just goes no-b, Q7, this is not always Sente. So this is the kind of move that white can just come in. And then you can push several times, but you have a wall and the wall is a little bit meaningless. So that's why it's more interesting to play the attach. Because the attach, if it's ignored, then you have the follow-up with hane, Atari, and connect. And now white has to leave, but he's hurt in the top right corner. And another move without playing all this Q7, Q8 area is just K4. So it's an ideal extension because if white extends here, then you can slide in the corner. So the game is still balanced, but it starts to be slightly better for black. So black turns, powerful turn. White extends, that's good. Then black extends in the top. That's also a large point, but luckily for black B17 is very big. And also still consider the bottom moyo. So for example, a move like L4. This is very nice. Even if white extends in the top, completing the bottom area, it's probably the most important thing right now. Then capture this stone. Because after the turn at G4, the 4 stones are in trouble for black, for white, sorry. So white needs a move like this. Otherwise, it just becomes painful. So for example, if white plays here, here, and maybe a jump like this, black will play the key point like that and jump inside. So if something like this happens, white really works hard to stay connected and safe on the left side, and black increases the bottom better than the actual game. So back to the original position, L17. It looks like probably the last big open area on the board, but the bottom it's also interesting to enclose. So kick here, that's very good, go up. Then white jumps in. So here black plays a cap. That's quite natural, attack with cap. Well, black can also play N4 because the corner is more vulnerable. White jumps out and then a cap move. But cap is generally good, this is fine. So attach and now cut. This fight didn't go so well for black in the end. White leaves quite comfortable. So black can consider just hane. If white pull back, you no-b, and the group is still kind of heavy and on the run. And if white plays no-b here, there are two ways to continue. One is to hit the vital point, the so-called ice stealing Tetsuji, because it forces white to go back in a very bad shape. Then either jump or connect. Now white has to run out. So white didn't gain so much. It's just an escape. Then black is sent to play attach, pull back, and so on. Another way is to bump here, because if white pulls back, you push and cut, and now it's troublesome for white. And if white just plays the table shape, again you push and cut. So if something like this happens, then you just capture the cornerstone. So white got this kind of wall, but it's facing the black stones. It's not such a big deal. And if he plays here, you just capture this stone, so you still build a lot on the bottom. It's hard to kill that group, so you better profit in both areas while white just goes out. So Hane, it's an option instead of cut. Cut, it's appealing though, but white could fix very easy. White can just play Keima, threatening to capture. Black has to go up, and then another Keima or even Ogeima and pull back. So white makes a very comfortable base inside black's moyo, and black just remains with some kind of neutral points towards the center. So we have Atari. Atari is primitive, that's why it's more interesting for white to play the other move, but this is also a fine way for white to live inside. So black jumps, and then Kosumi. This is too much. Black should connect on top, because here white still needs to struggle to live. So white needs a move like K2, then black can play Kosumi, but he still doesn't kill. And now white can push like this and jump again. And on the Hane, white doesn't cut, white protects under. Then when black connects, white protects. So white got I shape inside, but black also has a very powerful formation. Then Atari here to stay safe and connected. So playing this Kosumi, it's too much, because white can push through, then capture a stone, and just leave like this. There's a cutting point that black has to worry about, and then white can secure the base. Actually, it's a territory inside the bottom like this for white. So white should push right away. Too many cutting points. That's why black can't afford to play this P2. Must connect on top. So it's like pushing here, white pulls back, then now black can play this move, black can play the push, or black can attack from the other side, this way. But actually, okay. Yeah, it's impossible to kill this group. But white will be kind of small compared to the actual game, and black stones are connected on the outside. So white pushed again, that's fine. Then expands the eye space. This is also okay, but I would still like to push through here. That push came later, but yeah, it's too much for black to try to kill. Just connect. If white pulls back, this is enough space to leave, so you can play the monkey jump, no problem, as an endgame. But it's still difficult to kill that group, and now you gotta play the Tsuke or vital point here, or secure the corner. So let's see how the fight develops. Monkey or mini monkey jump to reduce the space, vital point, but this is again too much, must connect on the outside, because white will just push through. And normally you gotta give him that stone. Now it just became more vulnerable in the lower right corner, this black group. So the attempt of killing with K2, it's a little bit of a failure locally. So normally now white has the first chance to win the game. Yeah, it still doesn't work to do anything here. If you push like this, he will pull back. If you push again, he cuts. If you play here, he blocks. Block, take. Nothing works. But now it's natural for black to push through and simply go out. White will Nobi. You can push one time and cut here to see whether he takes a stone or connects. Then push along couple of times and then simply block the corner. This is a better way for black to fix. But it's still troublesome when white comes here, you gotta run and so on. Anyway, it's just natural to push out between the stones, because if white tries to do something in the middle, then you push through and punish him on the right. So this is another fail attempt. Yeah, white just protects. Nothing works. It feels like a one eye, this triangle, but actually there's more space for white, and white is already in the middle. So black played away, but now is not the time to play away from the fight, because the corner is in danger. When you play here, white can ignore completely and just surround like this. Then you gotta block, and it's painful for the corner. Now white can block and Nobi. Nothing happens in the top. So white blocked, that's fine. Black pushes here, yeah, it's a good idea to come back in this fight. Connect, that's fine. You gotta turn first, go out. And after this, it's good to cut here once to see whether white will capture or connect. Now the idea with this cut is that if white captures a stone, you can play Atari here, then you can go R3 or S3 pretty much center because you're threatening to catch the 3 stones. So if he plays away, next you take the 3 stones. Therefore, he needs to answer, and now the corner is safe and you can go back and fight in the top. So it's good timing to cut one time to see how he reacts. If he plays here, S3 is not center anymore, but it's center to push along from the other side using the dead stone of S8. So you play all these forcing moves, now the group is out and you don't care about S3 anymore. Unless you really get surrounded and you need eye shape in the corner. So playing here, white can block. Now if you cut, he can resist with this move and then go for the capture. How are the liberties? In fact, white can push, block, then go for the capture. But white can also give up those stones and keep center, then play here. So this is a good punishment, and white should win easily because white can also attack this group in the middle if Nobi. So that attack is painful. Normally you gotta come back here, then he can push one time. He can put pressure on the other group. But on the other hand, white could also come out here and start chasing these guys. Attack this group on the left, then jump a few times, then Atari like this. So black has this corner, the other corner, a tiny group here, a tiny group here, and a target in the middle. So this should be white's game. Which means white missed a big opportunity in this bottom side fight. So double up, that's a bit slack. It's always better to try to surround your opponent groups. But with a double up, he wants to make sure that when black cuts, white captures, Atari take, and when black comes out, he doesn't play there anymore. Crosscut, it's a bit too much. This shows that black is not comfortable with the position. Normally just pull back. If white connects, you leave the position like this. If white comes out, you have the cut or the clamp and you leave it like that. But this crosscut, it's a bit much because white can play Atari here. And if you come out, he can play another Atari or just connect. And even if you play the ladder like this, the position is quite painful. I mean, this Ponuki has an extra stone. So it's a bit heavy and it also hurts the L17 stone. So crosscut was too much. White can play Atari this way, then connect. Now black is busy. So white decided to go down. That's actually also okay for white because white has the ladder. And here white shouldn't capture, white should go Nobi. Because now when black comes out, he has the net. So when he goes Nobi, you need to connect to the left and then he simply goes down. So here overall it's still okay for white because black just kind of connects on neutral points. So white took the Ponuki and black cuts like this. Now in this position, white should connect solid. When you cut, Atari under, connect. So this gives you an empty triangle here. It's true you capture this stone, but white lives in the corner in center. Then he should go up and target these guys. Black needs to jump, then attack, push here once, jump to the left. You need to capture this guy. In general, white has to go down like that. Yeah, that can happen. And then continue the attack in the middle. So this would be a pretty good flow for white. But let's see what happened. White went down. So this gives the capture in center for black. And it's a big difference. And now black can play a big point again. Yeah, this is good. Increases the top and attacks his Ponuki a little bit. But the proper move is still this Atari to capture the stone. Now, after you're strong in the middle, it's easy to invade the left side, for example. So when white comes here, then you go in the top. So this move, yeah, finally the Nobi. Black has to run a little bit. Yeah, it's more interesting for white just to play a one space jump, because this kind of Kosumitsuke puts black ahead. Now he jumps on the right, but actually it wasn't necessary. He still needs to come out in the center and help the weak stones. The group on the right was already strong. Okay. So if black escapes here, the game becomes close again, which actually was the case. Ah yeah, now you can capture a few stones. Oh, actually not. Interesting attempt, but kind of failed. Yeah. This Tsuke, the natural move for white is to Hane. Then when black pulls back, white can think about other moves, like going down, Nobi, or simply pull back. Because after he pulls back, if you take the cornerstone, he can Hane here and go on a counter attack. So on a pullback, usually black might pull back also, and now white can go down. But in order to be more active, white should play the Hane. If black Nobi, white bumps, black Nobi, then white can push here, black needs to connect. If white goes down, black has to jump and connect in the center. And all these moves are kind of neutral points for black, then a severe attack in the middle. So white missed another opportunity. Going down here, he's looking to catch the big dragon, but yeah, black hits alert and comes out to connect. A bit dangerous, but still fine. Yeah, black has twice here. Interesting clamp. Actually not a bad move, because you're looking to catch the middle group. Normally just Hane, white plays here, and then some moves to reduce the center. But yeah, this is more active. And after this, normally just Atari and Nobi. This doesn't really work. He can cut. Oh, he didn't. He could just cut and then capture the stone. It's not like, well, on the cut, you can try a counter cut, take, then you connect, but he jumps out. It's difficult to catch that group in the center. So Hane, connect, hanging connection, that's fine. Atari, this was a little bit slow. Why should push here? I mean, separate that dragon. If you take one stone after the Atari and he jumps again, he kills the big dragon and it's game over. So this happened. Yeah, this is a good catch, but dangerous in the center. So the proper move is to connect. Either like this, or push on the right, threatening all these cuts, and try to connect somehow in Sente, then catch this stone on the left side. So black took, and now it's dangerous for this group in the middle, but nice escape. Yeah. Good Atari and set up the trap. So it's one way or the other. If white plays here, then the ladder works. If white plays here, you catch two stones in the middle, so you're out. Very fine. Yeah, all these moves are natural. For black, it's big to play R12. White has a problem on the right side. He needs to play this one, jump, then push. He needs all this crawling, but it's very big to jump on the left side too. So you don't need to Hane. Once you jump in at C8, it's difficult for white to do much here, because you can cut and capture like this. So white has to leave eventually. It's quite painful. So you kill this C10 on a larger scale and Sente. This way, white can Hane, you gotta catch, Atari from behind, you take. So white shape on the left side, it's more, it's a bigger base. Yeah, very good to push first and then capture the stone. But this is not necessary. White it's already captured. So let's say you play the Hane first. This move, white needs to protect for ice. Then let's say you play away the clamp in the top. So now if he comes out, you just Atari, Atari, Atari. It's a ladder. You don't have to Atari him down. You Atari him into the middle, because like this he will escape. So this capture was not necessary. It was like saying pass. It's good to push one time, then play away. This clamp is very big. Nice endgame. So here, what if... Tuck, 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 tuck. Yeah, it doesn't work. Must capture the stone. And the problem is, if black goes here, white Atari, and then you must take the stone, so it's gote. Yeah, good idea to play away. But it's more artistic to play this key point, then push and turn. Ouch, that's expensive. So always trust the Ikentobi, because on this Atari you always need to capture, but then he still, these stones are connected, so he has to go down and defend like this. And boom. take the tail. Those stones got captured anyway, huh? Yeah, so here it's a little minus for black, losing the 2 stones. This wasn't really necessary. I mean, right now, white can connect here. Then when black plays this, white captures the 2 stones. So white doesn't have to worry about the eye shape on the bottom because he's all connected on the right side. So that was a little minus. This cut is very good. Then take the tail. That stone was not important. So white's endgame is not so great. Here Hane is better. That was good. Must take, that's forced. Good catch here. This is a little bit soft. He doesn't need it. He should connect like this, because black can always push there in center and play Atari. So if you play here, he blocks like this, Atari, connect, and then play away. Fine. Yeah. You gotta continue with this Atari, and then connect. Because if you don't, he will play the wedge, and if you block, it's a snapback. So if he plays the wedge here, black must connect, and white connects. Black has to, block this way, otherwise it's a double Atari. So Atari here, capture, Hane, block, make an eye like this, and give up the stone in the top. It's a better endgame for white, and maybe he wins the game by a couple of points instead of losing by half a point. That was big. This is not really necessary, but it's better style to play Atari, and then connect. So you don't have to worry about the cuts in the middle anyway. After this, it's normal to play this one. So if Atari here, you connect, and then white has to come back. And only at the end, when the neutral points are filled, you need another move inside. But not in advance. That's big. Sente, also big. Oh, lots of gain here. Actually, just play Atari directly. If he connects, then you Atari. So he needs to fight the ko. And of course, you play a Kotret, push here, take back. He needs to play this one, you take again. So you don't need to throw in. And when he plays here, you make another point. Because throw in can lose some points. I mean, he can take, then Atari, he can take again. And well, you play the threat, he takes back, Atari here, take again, connect. But it's still 1 point less because you throw in once. And it was unnecessary. Tuck. Fuck. Yeah, you can play Atari, because if he captures a koi, Atari from behind, and if he connects, everything dies. But it's actually the same. Wait a moment. Here, you can go down, because this is 4 in line, and when he cuts, you just defend, and when he pushes, you block. So even if the groups are separated, they are alive. This one, it's taking a neutral point, because when white turns, you make less points in the corner, and also he can push in the middle. So if something like this happens, he plays here. Okay, Atari take. This is Sente. Fine. So small moves now. But it's really big to go down A2. It's bigger than A12, because when you go A2, you make 4 points in this area. If he Hane, you block, he can't connect anyway. He needs to connect, and then you can still fight the ko. So this move. Yeah, now it's kind of finished. Last point. Quite an impressive victory by half a point. Even though black played a slow move here to capture the stone in the late stage, was not necessary. The chasing on the bottom was a little bit of a failure. But then capturing back 3 stones here, and well, good endgame on the left side, made a black comeback and win this one. Enjoy the review and keep on winning.